what is the prediction for the upcoming T20 World Cup? Of course,
Well,
it's
I think
maybe
India will
happening
win
in
that.
UAE.
Yeah, India look far strong. It's India's World Cup to win, and they've just got to just perform as they're performing, and I think they seem like the strongest team.
Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Ayush Sharma. And with me here is my colleague and friend Mehran Zaidi. लेकिन आज का दिन बहुत स्पेशल है हमारे लिए कि एक बहुत ही स्पेशल गेस्ट हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं फ्रॉम इंग्लैंड फॉर्मर इंग्लैंड क्रिकेटर Monty Panesar. Welcome Monty sir.
Yeah, thank you. धन्यवाद आपने हमको मौका दिया आपके साथ इंटरव्यू करना.
Thank you so much. So we'll get started. So before the World Test Championship started, there was a discussions that Test cricket is dying, and the World Test Championship will help it in reviving the format of the game. Keep aside that part, the reviving part. Do you think that Test cricket was really dying?
I think when you look at other parts of it, apart from England and maybe Australia, like there isn't really other parts of the country, other countries around the world where you see a lot of fans coming in. So you need to encourage them. And one way, if there's a World Test Championship and it's a key Test series or key Test match, then that would encourage fans to come and watch their country.
My answer.
And one question. Another England India series is coming up with अभी India में हुई एक बहुत अच्छी series हुई. Now there's an India England series in England. And so how do you see that the 5-match Test series which is coming up? How do you see? Who do you think is the favorite, and who do you think would be the star performers from both sides?
Well, it depends. I think it depends on the weather conditions. I think last time when there was a Test series in August, September time, India came over and they lost quite heavily. So, they don't seem to, I don't know if they leave the ball very well. Leaving the ball is going to be important. We see in this, recently in this New Zealand Test series that started, New Zealand obviously batted very well against the English bowlers, and that's something that they need India need to develop. They need to develop who are going to be their batters that are going to leave the ball well and just bat throughout the whole day. That's going to be, I think, India's probably biggest challenge. I think, because they like scoring. All the Indian batsmen love hitting the ball, love getting bat on ball. But in England, some of the best shot is actually just leaving the ball. You want to get the bowlers to bowl at you, not you chase the ball. So that's something that I think is going to be a huge factor in the mentality that the Indians bat against the swinging conditions.
And bowling, Indian bowling, how do you see with Bumrah, Shami? Now Siraj is also coming up, shipping up quite nicely. Then Ishant, of course, is there. And then, of course, the two spinners, Jadeja and Ashwin. How do you see the Indian bowlers performing there?
Yeah, look, I expect the Indian bowlers to bowl well. They move the ball, I think, far more than during the tour of Australia in Australia. So you look to compare how the Indian bowlers bowl away from India, and they seem to move the ball far greater than the home team. So I don't know if they can do that. If they do that, that would probably be a surprising factor, which could actually India could win this Test series quite comfortably if they can get the ball to move more than the likes of Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad. And then they've done it. They've done it against one of the best attacks that Australia's ever had. So by no means they can do it against England as well.
And now, as the Test series would be going on, along with this in Sri Lanka, another Indian team is going. Considerably young team with most probably Shikhar Dhawan would be captaining, but players would be young. So how do you see India's bench strength now? Because the main team would be in England, and now a young team which is can be called at par with most international sides. The players there are quality players, and so how do you see the Indian bench strength, which has developed in the last 2-3 years, especially?
Yeah, look, I think it is a lot stronger now than it was maybe a few years back, and then this gives a great opportunity just to keep sort of giving opportunities to the younger team and developing that strong Indian team that they have. So yeah, look, it's going to be vital that they actually win the World Test Championship. Just to emphasize the strength of Indian cricket. But yeah, look, I think Indian at home are absolutely amazing. I'll probably say that away from India, that's where we really see the strength of Indian cricket. So yeah, this is a huge series in England. If they win this, they've never actually won a Test match. The first Test match of a away series for 7 years, and they've never actually won in England for the last 15 years. So that's you asked me the bench strength. Well, let's see if they win the first Test match. Let's see how strong they are. If they can do that, then yeah, we would say this is probably one of the strongest Indian teams we've had for a long time.
Okay, so my next question is, okay, so there have been a lot of discussions about England's rotation policy. Jeffrey Boycott said that if you don't want Johnny Bairstow to play, why is he on in your 30-man squad? Or we saw in the India-England series that some rotation that were done in the team were not as good as it might have been at the other places. So do you think that the England's rotation policy have some major drawbacks for the England team also?
Well, look, I personally think the reason they are doing the Western policy process is because, in my opinion, I think it gives them an opportunity to look at some other players, because the top four is vulnerable. Let's be honest. Apart from Joe Root, who had a fantastic, subcontinent, time in Sri Lanka and India, when he wasn't scoring, England really couldn't post much of a total. And even now, like we got the Test match going on against New Zealand. They may have a great day. They may bowl out New Zealand very cheaply, but they really need to have a good day with the bat, and I think that's going to be their biggest challenge. And even in India know that. They say, well, if it's swinging conditions, we've got the bowlers as well now. So yeah, another decisive factor could be the top four, how they bat, which we haven't done really very well of late.
So when India comes to play, so apart from Joe Root, what are your prospects for the batting? Do you see Johnny Bairstow coming into the side?
It depends on the pitches, I think, and the team formation that England kind of like obviously produce. So in my opinion, look, I think that Johnny Bairstow could come into that equation, because if the top, the younger batters don't seem to do very well, then I would definitely agree with that. But it's England like to keep their 12, their 13. They don't like to have a big squad. So ideally, they would want they would like England, the young batsmen to actually step up. The likes of Shubman Gill, look, he's stepping up and doing fantastic well. I don't know why the England young batters seem to struggle sometimes, but there's going to be lots of opportunity for them. So yeah, look, if the youngsters are not going to do it, then yeah, the senior batsmen then will have to come in.
Okay, so let's talk about women's cricket. So this month is really special for India women's team, because they are playing a Test match after so many years, and so it is good for women's cricket that Test cricket is also coming on the mantle. So do you think that this Test match, India versus England, will be historic for both these sides, and will it open the gates for other countries to play test cricket and to allow the women's cricket to be in this format?
Yeah, absolutely. We need like the game to be, expanded as much as we can, and I think it's brilliant to see that women's cricket is on the rise. We've got 100 is going to start. The first game is going to be women's game, where there's going to be equal pay. That's something that maybe it'll be difficult to happen with the BCCI, because it's such a huge, the men's earn a lot of money, but yeah, if they can increase the money for women, that would be good as well.
So for the last question, just your predictions. First, for the World Test Championship panel, who do you think is the favorite?
It depends. New Zealand are playing some good cricket. If they win this Test series and do amazingly well, then they'll be high on confidence. But if they don't do very well, then India, they're hungry. They're obviously hungry, full of intensity. They will probably be favourites. It depends on conditions. You have hot conditions. You have then a bit of overcast. You may have some rain. Before we've got a heat wave right now. We may have some rain a week just before. But it's in Southampton. And of all the places, it's the most southern of England, and you probably will get the most sun. So I think India strategically placed that one because they wanted to favour their spinners. So look, I expect it to be a dry wicket and it to go for 4 days at least, and I think India will probably play two spin. They have to play Ashwin because of the left-handers, and they may even play Jadeja. I think Virat Kohli will try and get Jadeja in the team. That's if he can.
And lastly, what is your prediction for the upcoming T20 World Cup? Of course.
Well, I think India will win that.
UAE
India look far strong. It's India's World Cup to win, and they've just got to just perform as they're performing. And I think they seem like the strongest team.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for joining with us. And
Okay.
yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir. Thank you.